What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 4.7%, largely just piggybacking off of the broader market's fear. 2063 the low, 2185 the high, and 4 million shares being traded. So extremely low volume. So goes to show another day that big money is not really backing up the bus to buy Lucid, and that is very clear as well based on the secondary market. Only about 6 transactions above $100,000 in total, 4 of which are sells, 2 buys. So again, big money's not really doing all that much with Lucid. Today there really hasn't been all that much associated to Lucid, so no press releases, no SEC filings or anything along those lines. So it's just been, again, at the mercy of the broader market. As of today, we are officially under the extreme fear category. So people's appetite for risk in theory is not there, and this is why you are seeing quite the significant sell-off. The main reason why the market's starting to panic is because of this. So we did have on Tuesday, a lot of the big banks unveiled their earnings, which they did, most of them at least, said that delinquencies are lower than anticipated. But that's not necessarily the case happening with regional banks. So for those of you that have been investing for a while, I think it was 2024 early on, the market freaked out because there was a lot of signs of cracking among the regional banks. Turns out that's starting to pop back up again. So unfortunately, this is causing a lot of fear, uncertainty. At the same time, this did come out yesterday, and which isn't all that great, and that is the US car loan debt has hit record levels. So it goes to show that a growing number of Americans owe more on their cars than they are worth. So not great whatsoever. And of course, Lucid being probably on the high end of that, it goes to show that eventually there's going to be a key pivot among consumers. So again, something to keep in mind. This doesn't mean that you need to sell Lucid nor buy, but it's just another element and a data point to somewhat analyze. One thing that I've been saying that hasn't happened, it seems like, of course, we had a lot of Fed speakers over the last couple of trading days, but it looks like they are saying that now the market's priced in 2 cuts for the obviously remaining part of 2025. So kind of interesting. I don't personally believe that is the case, only because we didn't really see any significant push higher because of that. So when it comes down to it, I do believe that it's not been priced in. And in fact, because of all the fear, now there is a small likelihood, a 3.2% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut for the upcoming October 29th meeting. So because of all the fear, you're seeing a stronger likelihood of a cut. So that in among itself could be a pretty good catalyst for the broader market. Of course, from now up until October the 29th, a lot of things are going to happen. So unfortunately, there's a little bit more fear, and without any institutions really buying Lucid, it's going to kind of push a little bit lower. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Only thing that Lucid really did post on social media recently was this, and it was just of a video. I don't know if it was a kind of a advisor doing this video, but you did have this, them just simply asking ChatGPT if Lucid is, I guess, a good vehicle or why buy a Lucid. So I really hope Lucid did not pay any influencer for this, because in the past, Lucid loves to pay influencers just for kind of ratings. And in my opinion, I think that's kind of a waste of money. Of course, that might be unpopular opinion, but I really hope Lucid didn't pay this at all, because yeah, that's, anyone can do that. And I think the problem with that is everyone, even myself, everyone knows that Lucid has the best tech out there, but like, you need to, who cares about that? You need to sell vehicles. That's kind of the moral of the story. Or even answer the $1 million question. If we have the best tech, which is what they're trying to highlight there, that it has exceptional range, why aren't more actual like OEMs or someone else taking and doing licensing deals with Lucid? That is the real question. You can't keep saying that we have the best tech and obviously have nothing to show for it. So in reality, it's not the best. Shorts though are taking advantage of the sell-off and returning. So they are returning 341,000 shares. 30.7% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 39.01 million shares overall being shorted. Short score 77.6. DTC still fairly high, 3.27 days. So that does signal that shorts are rather overextended. Looking at the options, 2.95 in calls, 2.02 million in puts. 55% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. Most of that is done here. So between 11:25 and 11:30, there's 4.1 million in premiums. And so if we pop this open and just sort it based on premiums just to see what is going on, if internet is going to go, there we go. And so if we sort it based on premiums right here, so it looks like the first one, more oriented towards bullish, there was a 22.50 that was purchased and then a 19.50 put that was also purchased. So ultimately they are kind of hedging that it is going to be one extreme, and it looks like they're choosing the 24th, so October 24th 2025 as expiry date. So it looks like they do feel that it will be either above 22.50 or below 19.50. And so yeah, kind of interesting stuff. And actually it looks like they did, based on the timestamp, more transactions. So probably they did an iron condor, but nonetheless, they do anticipate Lucid to be trading ultimately within a set range. So something to keep in mind. Aside from all of that, from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $23 range. So still a lot of optimism is on the table. I'm not really sure where that level of optimism is coming from though. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of between that 19.50 and 20. One thing that I did do today is I sold some 19.50 puts. So in case you guys don't know what that means, if for instance Lucid is below 19.50, then by my strike price, which I did choose next week as the expiry date, then I buy it at 19.50. If not, if it stays above that, then I get to keep the premium. Well, regardless, I get to keep the premium. So I highly recommend, if you like a stock, consider selling puts. It's kind of the best way to go in my opinion. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So the highest transaction right now is 249,000. Goes to show that nobody's really doing anything with Lucid whatsoever. Aside from that, with it at 20.57, it is crap is really hitting the fan right now. It is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 17.65 is going to be that next strong support. 21.19 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And I know I mentioned today I was going to be branching off and doing some other EV stocks, but given how much Lucid is selling off, I just wanted to kind of pop on and do a quick video about that. But going forward, I'm going to be doing Polestar, Rivian. I'm going to be kind of mixing it all together. So again, stay tuned for that. Aside from that though, on the actual chart itself, it is really below that 50-day moving average. So generally that's a pretty big deal for Lucid. Aside from that though, looking at the market position, you see pretty much no real willing buyers up until around that 19.50, and then there's even a gap to about 18.50. So anticipate a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future as well. Most of the volume though is coming from algorithmic trading. You can see that from the flow, and that's been more of a common occurrence in Lucid's case for a solid like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So all of this push higher was algorithmic trading primarily. You did have occasionally the kind of a transaction here and there that big money was buying, but nothing significant. No new analyst ratings today, so it's just been kind of at the mercy of the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Are you buying? Are you selling? If you do believe in Lucid, highly suggest in considering to do options. And so for instance, if you feel that Lucid, I see a lot of people on social media always pumping them, if you feel, let's say $35, or even some people are saying $50, a God candle is going to be coming. It's absolutely crazy, some people, what you can say on social media. But if you feel, let's say $35 is coming by December, that is going to be a 69% increase on the actual common stock. But if you do buy a long call, that is a 577% increase. So if you do believe in Lucid that's going to go higher, then consider doing options. You can make some pretty good money based on that. So take a look at that. If you want all of this to be simple, sign up for Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. Plus, I do have a kick-ass promotion right here that if you sign up through $100 at it, they give you $50 back. So that is a pretty good deal in among itself. So take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.